Dr. Wendy Yi is currently an associate professor at the University of Malaya. She is the director of the Academic Center, which fosters and empowers holistic development of students at the university. She is playing active and pivotal roles in various think tank committees and agencies. She is an alumna of the United Nations University and was recently appointed as an international fellow with CAICI based in Portugal. At home, she is the loving mother of a teenage boy. Behind all these great achievements in life is a true story of an ordinary young girl with an extraordinary vow.
My father passed away when I was 8 years old. His sudden passing had turned our happy family into a living hell. Due to this unexpected turn of events, we suffered from a lot of problems, including very serious financial problems. At that time, my mother was very young. She had to look after 4 very young kids. And as a result, she lost all hope in life and she didn't know what to do. She became very devastated and was constantly in a state of anger and became very depressed. My brother, sisters, and I, we all became the victims of her frustrations. As a result, I ended up having very low self-confidence and low self-esteem. And to add on, my school result was very poor. Therefore, I had no dreams, no hope in life. And I didn't even have any ambition for the future. It was in the midst of such sufferings that my mother was introduced to Nichiren Buddhism by her friend in 1985. Her friend told her she could transform her sufferings and her karma without fail. So my mother asked me to join her, and we both started chanting. My siblings later joined the practice too. As I entered into my adolescence at around 13-14 years old, I turned into a very rebellious teenager. To overcome our financial challenges at home, my mother had no choice but to travel abroad to work. After she left, I felt very lonely as I lost my only source of love. As a teenager, I was longing for a sense of belonging, love, care, and warmth of a family. But I couldn't have them anymore at home. And on top of that, with my lack of self-confidence and lack of self-esteem, I started to spend more time with my friends to fill the void in my heart. Unfortunately, these friends, they were all bad influences. So I joined them and started to skip school. I stayed up late and hang out with my friends without telling my grandmother or my sisters about my whereabouts. And also because of that, I failed in all my subjects in school. I became so bad and out of control that my elder sister could not handle me anymore. She called my mom and she begged her to come home. She told my mom if she did not come home, she would lose me forever. So my mom had no choice and she eventually came back.
At that time when I got back, I felt very angry and sad. I could not understand how she becomes so disobedient. I reprimanded her and warned her not to repeat such mistake in future. She promised me. Through chanting, I prayed for her transformation.
Her straight yet compassionate words stepped right into my heart. So I started to chant again, and I reflected on myself. I felt very guilty for what I did. So I decided to transform and show actual proof of my transformation through my studies. I started participating actively in SGM youth activities. These activities enable me to learn about the significance of life and, most importantly, how to lead a value-creating life as a youth. I remember one particular guidance given by SGI President Ikeda to the students. He said, the mission of students is to study well and you must aim to enter university. Because I had grew up without any hope or dreams. So this particular guidance was like a light that lit up the darkness of my life. So from that moment, I vowed to study hard and to enter university. From a total failure in Form 2, I failed all my subjects. I decided that I need to pick myself up as I entered Form 3 since I had to sit for the SRP examination that year. Through my earnest efforts in my studies and chanting of abundant Daimoku, that is Nammyo Horengekyo, I succeeded in achieving 7 A's out of 8 subjects. My mom was overjoyed when she saw my results because she realized that I have kept my promise and I've done really well and I've done my human revolution and transformed. So keeping my vow to my mentor ablaze in my heart, I decided to take the STPM examination to enter a public university in Malaysia. I knew the journey would be very tough. However, I insisted on this path as this is the only opportunity for me to enter university. Indeed, the journey was very challenging. Unfortunately, I failed all my subjects in STPM. So my only hope of going to university was totally shattered. So when my mom heard about my results, she encouraged me to start working and stop dreaming of going to university. But I didn't want to give up on my vow to my mentor. So I was at a loss and I didn't know what to do. After chanting lots of Daimoku and received much guidance from senior leaders in SGM organization, I decided to repeat my STPM. It was indeed a very difficult struggle for me. So I decided to base everything on prayers and study even harder this time. So I pray to manifest my inherent potential and my Buddha's wisdom so that I could understand everything that the teachers taught. I was very determined that I would transform this winter into spring just as taught in this Buddhism. So finally, I completed my STPM for the second time. And this time, I managed to pass all my subjects. But unfortunately, the results was just borderline passes. So in other words, my challenge of entering university was far from over. So the situation really looked hopeless, and there didn't seem to be any chances for me to enter university at all. So at this moment, again I came across a guidance from Mr. Ikeda, and he said, anyone would think that victory is impossible. And that's probably how you feel right now. But don't forget this marvelous Gohonzon we have. It has the power to transform what you normally think impossible into something possible. But those who give up before they try, thinking that it's impossible, don't really know the power of the mystic law. Only people who can bring forth the mystic law's power can succeed in anything they try. So after reading this guidance, I was reminded again the vow I made with my mentor, and I decided to challenge this impossible situation with abundance of Daimoku. So I chanted sincerely that if I really have a mission to study at a university, I must receive an offer letter. So after a week of strong, determined chanting, finally I was offered a place to study at University Putra, Malaysia. Finally, I fulfilled my vow and achieved my dream of entering a university. So I continued to pursue my master's and my PhD degrees. Based on the life philosophy I've learned from this Buddhism, I realized I have a mission, and my education achievements are empowering me to create more values for the happiness of oneself and others. I'm empowered to fulfill my mission in leading a contributive life, making concrete contributions as an academician, supporting various local and global agencies and organizations through my research and through concrete proposals to bring people together towards peace and value creation. Looking back, my experience has taught me to never give up on anyone. No matter how hopeless the situation may be, or how hopeless an individual may seem to be, every life has enormous potential. So I'm truly humbled and grateful that I was introduced to this Buddhism when I was young, through the practice of a correct religion that focuses on the dignity and unlimited potential of every human being. A life filled with sufferings can be transformed into a hope-filled life. It has transformed my childhood sufferings into the most brilliant treasure in my life.
Her transformation moved me greatly. I feel very happy. I also managed to carry out my own human revolution. This Buddhism is really wonderful and great. It enables me to achieve absolute happiness. I now understand what is meant by winter always turns to spring.
Establishing a solid wow based on the correct life philosophy has guided me through the most difficult times and enabled me to persevere and win through all challenges. So when we continue to affirm our wow again and again for the happiness of self and others, we can definitely realize our unique mission, cultivate our strengths, and experience boundless joy.